Alright, I want to tell you about two BFS reels that look similar but perform differently. We have the Kyorim Black Knight and the Tsurinoya Dark Wolf. So I'm going to give you a brief overview and kind of tell you which one I like better and why. And hopefully, if you're looking at both these reels and trying to decide which one to go with, maybe this input will kind of help you make a more informed decision and you don't have to buy both like I did. So, well, let's watch and see which one is better, and let's get to it.
Today I want to go over two BFS reels that you might have seen on AliExpress, and they look identical and you might wonder which one is better and why, and I'm going to give you my opinion as to which one is better and why. So again, they do look identical right out of the box, built on the same platform, same handle, same braking system. So from the outside, besides the color and the paint scheme, they're pretty much identical. Let me go over the listed specs and then tell you kind of did they match up when out of the box. The Black Knight is a 7:1-to-1 gear ratio, and it is listed at 159 grams, and the spool weight is listed at 9.9. When I weighed it out of the box, the Black Knight came in at 161, and the spool did come in at 9.9, so that was right on. And it's listed at having 6 kilograms of drag. The Tsurinoya Dark Wolf is a lower gear ratio reel, listed at 5 to 3 to 1, and it is listed at 151 grams of total weight, so less. And the spool is listed at 9.8 grams. Now, when I did weigh it, the total weight was accurate. It was 151 grams, but the spool was slightly heavier, about 10 grams. All right. The spools are both short shaft spools, but the porting is slightly different, so they might not be completely identical. Also, this one might weigh more because of the coating or maybe heavier gears inside. Not sure, but pretty much everything else is the same. On the inside, though, there are two differences that make this one maybe better. And the first thing is kind of this clicker, the drag clicker, that as the drag is pulled, it does make a noise. One of the AliExpress videos has it really screaming like it's on Wicked Tuna or something. It doesn't do that, but it does make an audible sound that you can hear as a fish pulls it out. And the major difference is the stock bearings. This comes in with the orange ceramic bearing stock. All right, the Dark Wolf does not. They both have identical sized bearings though. So the side plate bearing is a 3 by 10 by 4 bearing, and the spool bearing is a 5 by 10 by 4 bearing. So out of the box, they both look good. Pretty solid reels. They feel good. They both have solid thumb bars. I like the way they reel, so I was high on both of them. Then I took them out to the river to fish for a Korean fish called Gaudy, which is kind of, I believe in English, a leopard mandarin fish, a beautiful fish. Maybe you can see it in the video a little later. And I usually use minnow baits for them, and I did. So starting off with 5.5 grams, all the way down to 2.5 in the minnow baits, and then just a 1.5 gram lure just to see if either of them can handle. So again, 5.5, 4.5, 3.5, 2.5 and 1.5. And the test I kind of had it, I didn't do the total distance I was fishing, so I did measure a rock that was 18 meters from the original spot I was fishing, which is about 59 feet. And so if it could go past that rock with little effort but accuracy and no problems, I considered it a pass. And both of them had no issue with the 4.5 and 5.5 gram lure. Both with distance-wise, no problem with the 3.5, but the Dark Wolf, did sometimes have a lot of overruns and blow-ups. I couldn't really get it dialed in with the stock bearings. The 2.5, no problem. Well, I want to say no problem with the Black Knight, but it did do it and no major issues, no backlashes, just a few overruns, and I couldn't really get the accuracy at all with the Dark Wolf. Neither of them could handle the 1.5 at all. So that was kind of the first impressions that I had. So what I did then is I decided to take the Dark Wolf and make it a fair fight and upgrade the bearings to the orange ceramic bearings. and see if that made a difference. Because definitely, you know, out of the box, fishing it out of the box, hands down, the Black Knight is a better reel. All right, but with the upgraded bearings, would it fare better and would it surpass the Black Knight? We'll find out in a moment. Okay, so after the bearing upgrade on the Dark Wolf, switching the side plate and the spool bearing to the orange ceramic hybrid bearings, did it perform better and did it surpass the Black Knight? So yes and no. It did perform better. I don't think it surpassed the Black Knight, and I'll explain that as we go along. So again, the test was, could it go past 60 feet kind of with ease and accuracy without any major problems? And both of them, no problem. 5.5, 4.5, and a 3.5, which is 1/8 of an ounce. No problem there. 2.5, again, no problem. And then we go down to, this time, this is a 1.6 gram I used for this one rather than the other bait that I had, which is kind of like that little crankbait. This was 1.6 gram. Neither of them could handle this. So whether it was a minnow bait or a crankbait under 2 grams, neither of them could handle it, even with the upgraded bearings. But when I'm fishing in streams for the fish that I like to fish for, or most of the time, I'm pretty much in this range. You know, I don't really go below 1/8 of an ounce. So for me, they're both fine. If you do fish really light lures, yeah, I don't know, you might need something else. But again, a lot of that is the rod and the line. So performance-wise, how were they? I still think the Black Knight is slightly better, only because the overruns never really turned into backlashes that I had to pick out. I could just kind of pull them out. Occasionally when I got down, not with the 3.5, but with the 2.5, I did kind of have to kind of pick some things out with the Black Knight. Or I'm sorry, the Dark Wolf. But performance-wise, much better with the ceramic bearings. So if you do buy this, it's a must that you upgrade the bearings if you kind of want to use a good BFS reel. Out of the box, you know, the bearings aren't good and there's tons of grease. You got to clean the reel out a little bit, change the bearings, and then it performs relatively well. That being said, though, I still, if you're going to buy a reel, and if you're only going to buy one, unless the gear ratio is huge and you really want a low gear ratio, you have to go with this one, right? It comes with the stock bearings. You don't have to pay. You don't have to upgrade them. And I think performance-wise, overall, it's better. And the other thing is, I think when you're on a river, you're fishing in a lake, whatever, the brake, although the braking system is identical on the inside, the actual brake adjustment right here is way easier. Right, it was already maxed out, but you can do this very easy. All right, but with the Dark Wolf, you really got to dig in to get it to go either way, because they kind of have this little protrusion and it's tighter. It just doesn't work as well, you know? So that was another feature that I did not like about this. So I'm not ready to give up on the Dark Wolf because, like I said, I do fish in streams and I like kind of twitching the minnows. I like the slower gear ratio, actually. So I might try some air bearings on this or micro bearings. Maybe try to salvage it. But if you're out there and you're looking at these two reels and you think they're identical and gear ratio isn't that important, and you just want one that performs better and it's easier to use, definitely pick up the Dark Knight. I'm sorry, the Black Knight. The Black Knight. So that is definitely the winner of this battle. And I think out of the box, hands down, this is a winner. If you upgrade the bearings to make it a fair fight, this one is still, I think, slightly a little bit more efficient. I think distance-wise, they're pretty similar, but it's more efficient. You have less issues with it. And like I said, it's much easier to adjust the brake, which is really important in BFS. So thank you for watching. I hope you got some good information out of this. And if you are going to purchase one of these reels, I would look at this one first. All right, thank you.